Hi, this is Lakshmikant Tiwari. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you working with text file in Python for NLP. As you know, in my previous video, NLP tutorial for spam text message classification using the NLP and scikit-learn, I had promised you that I'll be teaching you basics of the NLP so that you can strengthen your the machine learning capabilities, especially in NLP. Alright, so these are the application which I taught in the previous video, and I had promised that these are the things which we will be doing, alright, like this. Okay, so these are the things. The first thing I have already covered, and this is the next thing, that working with text file and the PDF file. So in this lesson I'm going to show you how you can work with the text file, like how you can use a string formatter so that you can print some string very properly. Since we are going to work with natural language processing, we will be needing a lots of the text printing during our data processing. Now you might have been printed a lot of the text data like this, very wiggly jiggly, their columns are not aligned properly, but I'll show you how you can print this text data where columns can be properly aligned like a table in a Jupyter notebook. Then I'll show you how you can work with .csv and .tsv file, and then I'll show you how you can use Python's inbuilt command to read and write text files. Alright, so there are so many other ways, and it depends on you which ways you are preferring and you are comfortable to use during reading and the writing. Alright, so I'll be showing you a lots of the technique during the file read as well as a file writing in a Python. So this is all in this lesson. So without wasting time, I should tell you, if you haven't watched my previous videos, you can go ahead at my channel KGP Talkie. There you can watch the previous videos, and there especially I have 5 playlists: natural language processing tutorials, and here TensorFlow 2.0 tutorials, Python tutorials, machine learning, and the feature selection. So these are the 5 playlists, are must watch playlists which you can watch. And if you have not subscribed my channel, please go ahead and subscribe this channel so that you can get updates directly into your inbox. Alright, so without wasting time, let's go ahead and start this brand new lesson. Alright, so let's go ahead and start working with the text file in Python for our NLP purposes. So this is tutorial number 2 in NLP lesson, in which we will be working with the f string for formatted print inside a Jupyter notebook, and we will be working with this .csv, .tsv files to read and the write. .csv and the tsv are text file is kind of in the same way, can be read using pandas data frame. And then we have working with the magic command, write file magic command, which works only in a Jupyter notebook. And then I'll show you how you can start working with file read and the write using Python's inbuilt function. Alright, so let's go ahead and start working with string formatter first. And here I'm gonna first define name is equal to, let's say, KGP Talkie. And in a formatted string, if I say here like the YouTube channel is name. Alright, so you see here, if I say the YouTube channel is name, then the name is being printed. But our task is to get the variable name of this name. Alright, and to do that, what we can do, we can delete this, and then we can put here 2 curly braces and then dot format. And inside that format, I can pass that variable name to print the variable value. Now you see here, we have the YouTube channel is KGP Talkie. Alright, and in the same way, we can also use f string to print this without using format command inside the Python, which we can do with print. And then we can use here f string. Then we say that the YouTube channel is, and then inside this curly braces I can directly use this name without using format. Now you see here, this is KGP, I mean the YouTube channel is KGP Talkie. Alright, Now let's go ahead and work with minimum width and the alignments between the column. Let me tell you what are these things. The minimum width and alignment between the column. All right. So the many times you might have seen that a temperature, let's say you have a temperature value, a temperature log, and then we have here a value. All right. Then what we see generally, sometimes what happens, the temperature value is sometimes comes here one, let's say, sorry, this is the temperature value. In fact, let's say it is a day, and here we have a value. All right. So let's say here for a first day, we have a value just with one space or a tab, let's say the 10. And what happens at the 11th or 10th day, we get a value which is kind of, let's say 11. Now the value you see here, the in between the column, these values are not aligned properly. So this is what I'm saying that now I'm going to show you how you can set a minimum width and alignment of these columns in this formatted text, which you can print into a Jupyter notebook. All right, perfect. And to do that, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a list here, or a list of tuple. And to do that, I'm going to create a new variable. Let's say here data science tuts, and inside the data science tuts, there is a list, and it is the list of tuples. And inside that, I'm going to list my four the playlists which contains data science tutorials. The first playlist which you should watch, that is a Python for beginners. All right, so Python for beginners contains how many lessons? It's around 20 or 19 lessons. And then there is another video series which is feature selection, okay, for machine learning, and this contains around 11 videos. And then there is another tuple, sorry, there is another tuple which is, there is another the playlist which is machine learning, okay, machine learning tutorials, which is actually the classical machine learning, which contains 19 lessons. All right, sorry, which contains 11 lessons as well. And then here we have a final one, that is deep learning, okay, the deep learning tutorials. So here we have deep learning tutorials. I think that contains 20 or 21 lessons. Let me see how many lessons are there in deep learning video series. In deep learning, yes, we have a 19 video here as well. So we can say we have a 19 video here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and print this data science tut. If we print this data science tuts, we see something like this. Now you can see very clearly this is not formatted properly, and it is kind of jiggly wiggly, and we are not able to identify very properly these columns and these numerical columns together. So now I'm going to show you how you can print these the columns with a particular space between these columns and the alignments. Perfect. But before that, let's go ahead and print it with the for loop. For info in data underscore science. All right, and then here I'm going to use print info. Now with this here, you see this says that data science is not available, data science tuts. Now you see here it is not properly aligned. Now what I'm going to do, just copy it and paste it here. But here I am going to use f-string to print this so that it can be aligned properly, and a variable space can be set in between these two columns. That we can use here f-string. So here we have f-string, and inside this f-strings we need two curly braces for these first column and the second column. In the first curly braces, I need info and the value for first tuple, that is 0. And after that, we need to provide here how much space we want between the columns. That is, I'm going to set here a 50. All right, and then with the space, I'm gonna put here the another column value, that is these numerical values, and that we can print with info. And now we need second value of tuple, which is at index number 1, and then I'm gonna provide here a space, and that I'm going to provide here 10. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and print this and see. Now if I print this, now you can see a very fantastic and the very clear formatted printing has been done for this wiggly jiggly printing. All right, now let's say if you want something indicator before in between these two lines, and for example, if these lines, I mean the number of these tables becomes large, then the most of the time it gets difficult to identify which rows, I mean the corresponding rows. All right, and to do that, what we can do, we can either use less than, greater than, or less than, greater than. Let me show you, copy it and paste it here, then I'll show you. I mean, you can use either less than character or a greater than character or this caret. Okay, let me show you with example what are these means. The first time if I say here a left, then you see there is no changes. But if I show here a greater than, that means it is here. You see right aligned here, very fantastic. And if I see, if I put here a caret, then you can see here it is center aligned. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and put here left aligned. And with the left align, let's say if you want to put here dot dot, something like, yeah, you can do here. For example, I'm gonna say that be a left align with a dot. Now you see here there is a dot. All right, so this is kind of a table printing like you see in the books. Perfect, fantastic, this is great. Now this is how we can print a formatted string using a string formatter, otherwise f string in a Python. Now let's go ahead and start working with the file, CSV file or TSV, that is the tab separated files in a Python. Perfect. Working with dot CSV or dot TSV files. Perfect. So I already have this dot CSV or dot TSV file here in this lesson, which I'll upload this. The dot TSV and this Python notebook as well, Jupyter notebook as well on my GitHub repository, which is here, github.com/merit, which you can get all the codes from in the repository section, All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and read this .tsv file in a Jupyter notebook, which we can do very easily by using pandas data frame. So let's go ahead, first import pandas as a PD, which you can do like import pandas as PD. Perfect. Then read this data like pd.read_csv, and then here we have movie reviews.tsv. Now you see here this function we have been using to read CSV file or comma separated values. If you press here shift and the double tab, you will see here the parameter as an input which it takes, and by default separator is a comma, that is why it is known as comma separated value reader. But here if I put sep is equal to if I put here sep is equal to tab, then it becomes TSV. All right, so with this will read the data in this data inside the data variable. We can see it by just printing the data. Otherwise we can just print data.head. You see the first 5 labels are first 5 rows of this data, and here it has the 2 rows. A first row is a label which shows that what is a review type or a sentiment of that review, whether it is a negative or a positive review. So the very first and the second reviews are a negative review, but second and the third and the fourth are a positive review. All right, at the index position of 2 and the 3. Perfect. Now I'm going to show you some more operations on this pandas data frame which you can do like a data. Let's say if you want to count what is the shape of this data, I mean how many values are there. So there are 2000 rows presents there with the 2 columns. And let's say if you want to know how many labels and how many unique values are inside a label, which you can get with the data, and then a label, and then a value counts. All right, so it says that there are 2 unique values, negative and positive, and each of these unique values have 1000 occurrence. So that is why there are total 2000 data points, 2000 rows in this review.tsv file, movies review.tsv file. All right, now I'm going to show you how you can write this, how you can write a TSV file or tab separated file in your machine. Let's say, for example, I'm going to get all the positive reviews from this data frame, which we can get in post variable. POS is equal to the data, and then I'm going to put here a data label, get all the rows which have label the positive, that is the POS. All right, so with this we will get, this is a positive review. All right, so all the positive reviews. So let's go ahead and visualize just the head of this positive review. Now I'm going to write this positive review as a tab separated file. And to do that, what we can do here, pos.tocsv, and then here get the name of this file, that is the pos.tsv. And during the writing, by default the separator is comma. We need to put a separator is equal to the tab separator. All right, and if we do this, you will see here the file we have a post.tsv, and once we print this post.tsv, you see there is one more thing here. It is written here, and all the labels for all these rows, the positive labels are there. All right, now let's go ahead and read this, read back it into, let's say, the temp data frame. Okay, so here we have, otherwise we don't need actually the temp. Just let's go ahead and do with pd.read_csv, and with this we get here post.tsv, and then a separator which I'm going to identify here, that is a tab separator. And with this, if we read this file, you see there is unnamed extra column is added during writing. So that is why, that is because we had not ignored indexes here. So what we need to write here, we need to ignore the indexes by writing index is equal to false. So it will not write these indexes, which was these. Okay, so these indexes will not be written. Otherwise, during reading, we can also avoid reading those indexes. So it's better if we can just delete those indexes. I mean, if we make those indexes as a false. So let's go ahead and run this. And if we run this, now you see here that index level has gone, and we have here a label and a review in a positive variable. Okay, I don't think I have used the positive variable, but this is how we have read. And if we use here a head, we will get just up these first 5 values of all the positive review. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and use here. I'm going to use here now the built-in magic command. Built-in magic command in Jupyter, and that is $% write file. All right, so this is the one way you have seen how you can write a file inside your computer, but there is another way in a Jupyter notebook which you can file a text file very quickly. Let's go ahead and use this magic command inside the Jupyter notebook, which we can use here $% and then a write file, and after that we need to identify the file name which we need to write. That I'm going to write here text1.txt. all right, and all the content inside this cell will be written into this .txt. all right, so I'm gonna say here, hello, this is the NLP lesson, please like and subscribe to show your support. All right, so you see here, if I hit the enter, writing text.txt has been done, and now you see here we have text1.txt file, and there is a 2-line, hello, this is the NLP lesson, please like and subscribe to show your support. Perfect. So this is how you can write a file by using a Jupyter Magic command. But for example, let's say you already have this text1.txt file and you want to append another line in this file. How you can do this? This is really very simple. And to append the file, you can just call here write file, and then you need to pass here append parameter, that is a, and then text1.txt. Now it will open this text1.txt file into append mode, and then you can write here another line, okay, thanks for watching. Perfect. So now you see here this append the text1.txt, a third line has been appended, that is the thanks for watching. Perfect. All right, so this is how it is working. So this is all in the magic command in the Jupyter notebook. Now let's go ahead and use the Python built-in command to read and the write. All right, so now I'm going to show you how you can use this Python's inbuilt command. Sorry, this should be the command instead of command. How you can use Python's inbuilt reader and the writer to read and the write files. So we have already written the text1.txt file. Let's go ahead and open this file, which we can open with file is equal to open, and then here we have text1.txt. all right, and then here we have in read mode. Perfect. So we have here a file operator or file object, and which shows that the name of file which it has read, that is the text1.txt, and the mode is in read mode. All right, so by default mode is always read mode. Then what we can do, let's say if we want to read whole the file, we can read whole file just by calling file.read. all right, so we read whole file, and let's go ahead and call this again file.read. Now you see we have got a empty string. I'll tell you why. The very first time what it does, it brings the pointer at the end of this the pointer of reading this file, it brings at the end of this file or a document. That is why next time I am doing file.read, it is showing that there is a empty string. And to do that, to get this again, we need to read this again. Now if I do this and run this without running this one, we should get a complete file. All right, now if I run this one or this one again, now we should get a here empty string. So this is how you can read a whole document with just file.read, and it reads all the lines are lines, new lines are tab or space, etc. together. All right, so now let's go ahead and show you how you can again set a pointer to the beginning of this file so that you can read this again. And to set that pointer, I can call just file.seek 0. Now what it does, it brings the pointer at the 0th location of this file, and if I do file.read, then I should get again this file, and if I do again, then there is empty string. But if I do this one and then this one, then again I have got overall the document. But if I, let's say if I set this fseek at the first position, then I should not get h. Yes, so this fseek has set the pointer at this e location. That is why except h, everything has been read from the file. So let's go ahead and set it to 0, and now we have got a file.read. all right, perfect. Now the another way to read these whole documents together, we can let's go ahead first set the position at the 0th location. We can call read lines. all right, So here if I say a read line, so this read line will read the first line very first time, but if I again run it, it should read another line. Now you see it has read the another line, and if I run it third time, it reads this last line. And if I run it the fourth time, now it will read this empty string because the pointer has came at the end of the file. All right, so let's again bring the pointer at the 0th location. Then I'll show you how you can read all the lines together using read lines command. Okay, let's go ahead and insert few empty cell here by using just B command in your the keyboard. Perfect. So let's go ahead and first bring a pointer at the 0th location, and then I'm gonna use here, instead of read line, I'm gonna use here read lines. And now you see all the lines has been read into a string, into a list of string. All right, so this is a string. Now again, if I read the second time, we should get an empty list because it has already read the whole document. So let's go ahead and run this one time and run this again. So this is how it is reading all the lines together. Now if you have opened a file, then you should also close that file as well. That you can do with the file.close. Now the file has been closed, and if I print here file, it says that it's name text1 mode or encoding this one. I'm not sure how it is working. Let's say if I see this one, yeah. So there is, the file is already closed, although it is there, but the file is closed. That is why it is not being performing. It is not being able to perform any operation. There is another way in which you actually don't need to close a file separately, which you can do with open text1.txt. all right, edge file. In this way, we don't need to actually close the file separately. Now let's go ahead and get this data, which we can get into the text data. Text data is file.readLines. All right, so all the lines has been read into a text data. Now let's go ahead and print this text data, which we can do just like this. Now you see this file, we don't need to actually close this file because it is already closed, which we can check by just calling file.read file. Okay, file.read files, read lines. All right, so you see there is error. With this, we actually don't need to manage file close and the open separately. Perfect. Now let's say if you have printed this data. All right, let's say if you want to print the data inside this text data, which you can just use or iterate through this text data using a for loop for the temp in the text data, and then here we have print temp. Now you see here we have all the data printed here, but you see here there is extra new line in between these two lines, because there is a new line because of this new line command, and because of this print there is another new line. And to remove this new line, what we can do, we can just call a strip on this temp variable. So if I call strip, so strip will strip all the extra characters like space and the new lines. Now you should see here there is no space between the lines. Now let's say if you want to print the line numbers as well, how you can do that? You can use an enumerator like for I, and then the temp in enumerate and their text data. All right, and then here you can print str, the I will be converted into a string, then there is a plus sign, and then you can put some space. You can put here some space and then some dot values or kind of some this and the dash sign, and then finally you can put some space there, and then with the plus you can call here temp. Now let's go ahead and print this. So this says that here 0, 1 and 2 line, and if I call here a strip, then you should get something like this. All right, perfect. So this is how you can do reading using a inbuilt command of a Python. Now let's go ahead and do a writing of the file. Sorry, this should be in the writing. How you can do writing. Okay, so the file writing is really simple in a Python. For example, let's say if I open a new file with a file is equal to open. Let's go ahead and open text2.txt. Earlier we had written text1 using inbuilt magic command, but here I'm gonna use file write operation or file write command inside the Python, that it will open here a text2.txt in write mode, that is W. Alright, so we have here a file. Now you see text2.txt and the mode is write, and then I'm going to just write here file dot write. Alright, so inside this I'm going to write here, this is just another lesson. Alright, perfect. Now you see here 27 character has been written. Now if you count total number of characters, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21, and there is a 6 more characters, so there are 27 characters has been written. Now if you check text2.txt file here, it is written here, but you see the size of file is 0 byte, and if you check the file, there is nothing inside this file because we have not closed this file. Okay, we need to close this file so that it can complete the write operation, and if I do here file.close, it completes write operation. Now you see a file size is 27 byte and there is some data available in text2.txt. Alright, so this is how you can write using file open and file.write and then file.close separately. All these things we can do by using just with open command, like we did into reading, while reading, which we can do like with open. Now I'm going to open here text3.txt and I'm going to open here in write mode as file. Alright, then here we have file.close. We have as a file. Then we need here file.write. Then here I'm going to write here, this is third file. Perfect. So let's go ahead and run this just in single time without extra open and close. So this is third file. Alright, so you see here, this is how it is working. Now let's say if you want to append here a new line, new files, how you can do that. Let's go ahead and copy this and you can open this into append mode. Now text3 will be open into append mode, and inside this, let's say if you want to write a variable. For example, we already have text data. Okay, so let's say if you want to write this text data, or if you want to append this text data inside text3.txt, then how you can do? You can use here a for loop temp in text data file.write. All right, and then you can use here a temp. So it will read this line by line. Text data will be read here line by line, and then it will be appended into text3. Remember, text3 already have, this is a third file, and then these 3 more line will be added into text3. Let's go ahead and run this. Now you see here text3.txt, it has total 4 lines, but you see here the first line and second line is added together because I had not used any new line characters while writing another file. And to avoid that, what you can do actually, you can add here a new line character. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this, run this and this. Now if I close this and reopen text3.txt, now you should see here there is 4 files. Oh sorry, there is 4 lines in this text3.txt. Alright, Perfect. So this is all about in this lesson. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe this channel. And in the next lesson, I'll be covering how you can read a PDF file, how you can convert those PDF file into a text file, so that the later in our NLP lessons, we can utilize this, the text and the PDF reading techniques. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.